I've sketched out my waves and I've covered them with masking fluid. I'm going to allow it to dry naturally. Start to mix up your sky colour. So I'm using the violet here. So I'm mixing a little tiny bit of blue to that violet. It's to make a sort of a violety blue sort of sky, and then mix up a puddle of your brown. The reason I'm using violet, blue, brown, not actually stating the colours I'm using, because if you're not using these colours, it becomes less confusing for you and for me. And what I'm doing now is I'm using my large size 14 brush and wetting everything now with clean water. Please make sure your masking fluid is dry, and don't blow dry your masking fluid because it tends to be very difficult to get off, so you have to dry that naturally. So I'm just wiping off the excess water there before I start painting, because I don't want any puddle in my painting. And I'm using the size 14 brush now to apply this gorgeous violety blue, wet in wet, with my large brush. And I've just mixed up a little bit more darker colour because I found that it was not dark enough, that wash. So don't worry, you can do that as well. You know, sort of, you've got plenty of time. And if your painting does dry a little bit, just give it a spritz with a spray bottle. So I'm putting that very, very pale wash of brown right on the horizon, and I'm tilting my painting a little bit there so it didn't run up into my sky. So I'm scrunching up a little bit of kitchen towel now, and I'm lifting off the clouds. Make sure you do this straight away, because otherwise if it dries off your painting, it's difficult to get this paint off. But I'm just lifting them up, trying to kind of copy a little bit of the photograph, but you don't have to. You can just sort of lift off these clouds, and it's so much fun to do. And I used to love teaching this beginners years ago because everyone got quite a nice little effect, and it's so effective just to lift off paint like this. And you can see I've got a dancey wrist as well. I try and change directions and things like that. Remember, the clouds are smaller as they get towards the horizon, so don't make them as big. And yeah, just enjoy this stage. It's so much fun. Remember, if it goes wrong, wash it off under the tap and have another go. Don't worry, that's the most important thing. So as you saw there, I mixed up a little bit of blue, touch of violet, and I'm just painting now this sea. It has dried off a little bit, so I've had to encourage it a little bit, but it doesn't matter if it's wet on wet, wet on dry, it's absolutely fine. Just don't paint your rocks. And I'm just painting the sea here behind this big wave. And after I do this, I'm going to let the painting dry. So once the painting's dry, I'm applying masking or framing tape to the horizon. Now you must make sure your painting's dry. If it's anyway damp, if you take this framing tape off or masking tape off, it will tear your paper. So make sure it's dry. Anyway, I mixed up a little bit now, the turquoise, that's the blue, with a tiny, tiny touch of brown, and then blue on its own as well. And it's quite a sort of a darker colour, this, because the sea, if you look in the reference photograph, is quite dark. And the reason why it's important for this to be darker is because it will make the sort of big wave look lighter. So you've got the light against the dark area. So now I'm putting a little bit of that blue with a tiny touch of purple in the foreground sort of sea area where the foam is, and just using my size 4 brush and just sort of gently putting this in here, but making sure that my underpainting shows through as well. And I'm just softening and blending with a damp brush as well. So make sure you blow dry your painting before you do what I'm doing here. Make sure it's absolutely dry so the paint doesn't seep into the sky, and gently remove that framing tape. If you have watercolour paper that doesn't like tape, check it out first of all, because the last thing you want to do is tear your painting. What I'm going to do now is I'm mixing up a little bit of the brown with a touch of blue to make a really super dark brown wash, and then I've got the brown on its own, nice creamy washes here, and then I'm mixing up the blue with some violet, and that's my darkest colour. So I'm going to use the size 4 brush now, and I'm going to apply just the brown on its own, wet on dry, just to really form the shape of these rocks. Take your time, just really have a look at the shapes of them in the reference photograph, and remember just to keep loading your brush. Make sure you have plenty of paint. Once you cover these bottom rocks with the brown colour, then you can apply the dark brown colour. Drop this in, damp into damp. Here and there, you know, still leaving that underpainting of brown, that lighter colour showing through, and then drop in your darkest dark. And this is kind of literally damp into damp rather than wet into wet, so the paint doesn't run too much. I'm just making sure I'm really covering and really making sure I've got plenty of darks there. And once you put all your darks on and let the paint dry off a little bit, you still want the shine to be on the paper, you can start scraping with your card. If you haven't done this before, practice first of all. My tip is only scrape in the same area once. If the paint runs back in, wait a little bit longer and have another go. It's too wet. But you're just sort of scratching off light and colour really, and it creates these nice rock formations, which is really, it's a really nice little technique this. So enjoy it, but do practice beforehand. So I'm going to paint the other rocks now using the same techniques. So here we are, my masking fluid has been removed. I'm really delighted with how white those waves look. It's great. So what I'm doing is mixing up a shadow colour for the waves here. So I'm using the violet, the blue with a touch of brown. So it makes a very neutral colour. Just make sure it's really, really watery, because if you look at the reference photograph, the shadow's quite soft. I'm wetting my wave area with my size 14 brush with clean water. So once you've wet the wave, you can now use that watery grey wash to drop in just near where the rocks are and just paint that lovely grey in. Start at the bottom third, don't go any more than halfway, because what happens is, because it's wet, it's going to creep up to the top and you're going to lose your light. So whatever you do, don't lose your light. So I'm just putting it right at the edge near the rocks there. If it does creep too far, just have your kitchen towel or tissues on standby and mop up. So I'm going to continue on painting my shadows and some darker shadows in the water as well with this watery grey. A slightly creamier darker grey just on this main sort of wave, just here and there, the bottom of the rocks, just to create a touch more dark. I'm just mixed up a little bit of the blue with a touch of violet, and I'm going to paint this darker wash wet on dry in the water. Just when you look at the reference photograph, there's a few little dark accents here and there, and I'm using my size 4 brush. Just painting some darks in the water, using violet and brown with the size 4 brush, just to kind of give that little bit of shadow maybe in the sea cast, or the reflections rather, from the rocks and the sea, and just putting a little bit more dark on the rocks as well, just at the bottom. I've got some lovely darks in my palette now, so sometimes you're just mixing all these different sort of combinations of colours, but it's interesting because you're just using these 3 colours and getting all this variety. So I'm just mixed up a little bit more dark just to paint some more darks in these foreground rocks, just to finish off with some darks and details. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some white gouache. I've dried my painting, and I've slowed it down so you can see what I'm doing there, but I'm just spattering. You don't have to do this, and probably I wouldn't have done this, I didn't really need to, but I just wanted to show you if you didn't have enough sort of white sort of spattering waves, you can spatter yourself with some white paint. And also if you didn't want to use masking fluid and you could paint round those waves, you can then spatter with white paint, which is really effective. And I'm just putting a little bit on these foreground rocks. I didn't do that with the masking fluid, but I thought it'd give them a little bit of sparkle. I'm removing my framing tape now so I can assess whether I need to do any more to the painting. I feel those foreground rocks are quite distracting. They're a bit bright and a bit bold, and because they're right on the edge of the painting, I want to push them back a bit. So I'm using a dark, quite watery, so you can see the texture still of my scraping that I did earlier. And this is called a glaze. Glaze is a very thin wash, so you can see the underpainting, and I'm just glazing over those rocks and some over there on the left, so I wanted to push those back so it really brings that wave in the center to the foreground. You know, it's a focal point. So I really hope you found that glazing technique useful. If you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to support the content that I create here on YouTube, why not think about joining my Patreon membership? You will get access to weekly exclusive tutorials, and you can cancel anytime. And check out the details about the membership in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.